What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Clearance Camo Podcast. I'm your host, the Clearance Camo Hunter. Sorry I haven't been around the last little bit. We were able to welcome our daughter home, and so it's been pretty nice. She did have to spend a little bit of time in the NICU. We had a little bit of problems with that, but she's home now, healthy, happy, amazing little baby. So I am happy to say that she is home. I'm happy to see that everything worked out all right. So thank you guys for everyone who wished me congratulations or that my baby would get home soon and get home well. Thank you guys very much for that. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you spend your time when you're not hunting, but you are in the field, if you know what I mean. So I guess if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're hunting big game, which that season's coming up, you're out before sunrise, you're coming home after dark, but it is in the fall. Dark lasts a lot longer than it does in the summertime, and so there's some activities that a lot of people try to do when they're back at camp. So to give you guys kind of an example, when I go big game hunting, I'm not home when I'm doing it. I'm out usually staying in a wall tent. You wake up, have yourself a bowl of oatmeal, and get out on the hill. Then you're out on the hill before sunrise. You're there until after sunset, if you haven't gotten anything, and then you work your way back to camp, and you have whatever dinner you're making that night, whether it's chicken and rice or if you're just having something simple. You've got yourself your food, but then you have that period of time in between dinner and actually going to bed that it's time to find a way to kind of relax yourself and get ready for bed. And so when I'm hunting, I'm in a place that doesn't have cell service. I'm in a place that I don't have TV access. And so I'm trying to find things that can kind of fill that void of time. And one of the things that I do, especially if I'm hunting with my dad or my wife, we like to play cribbage. If you've never played cribbage, it's not a terribly hard game to learn. It's just learning the tricks to it, different ways to score points. It's a card game. It's a good game, and I really enjoy cribbage. And so I would say that's probably one of my favorite things to do when I'm out hunting. Now, I have spent a couple of times where I've been out hunting and we spent a night in a motel. And even while we're in the motel, still playing cribbage. Even though they have a TV and they have different things to do, we still end up playing cribbage. And so it's actually a game that I taught my wife. And so that's kind of a way that we've pass time together. For me, it's a great way to kind of clear your mind too, because there's definitely some math involved with that one. So it's a great way to kind of clear your mind and just I don't know, decompress would be a good word for that. So that's what I do now. I've been talking to some other folks, some people that I don't necessarily hunt with, but I do hang out with. And I've been talking to some of them about what they do when it's that relaxation time. And one of the guys I was talking to says that he spends that time going through his gear, making sure everything's all set up for the next day, making his lunch, making sure his snacks are refilled, making sure his water's refilled, making sure everything's in the right pocket, making sure everything's functioning. He even has a laser bore sight that he takes out every night and makes sure that his scope is still in the same spot that it was when he went up there. He checks it beforehand and then checks it every night. So making sure his equipment's good to go. I've talked to some other folks that all they do is after dinner they just sit down and basically drink themselves to sleep. So I guess that's one way to do it. I don't drink all that often, and so if I were to imagine myself doing that, I'd probably wake up with a hangover, and it's not good to wake up with a hangover when you got to go hiking, hunting, and do all that fun jazz. So probably not gonna be my go-to for sure. Now, when I'm alone hunting and I'm at that period where I'm done with dinner and everything, I just make sure that everything's kind of tidied up. Whatever I'm staying in is pretty clean. Making sure my food's all put away. Making sure that I'm set to go in the morning. I try to charge all my devices, so I'll charge my GPS or my phone, whatever it is. And yeah, I may not have cell service, but I do still like to take pictures. So I take that time to kind of prepare myself for the next day. And then basically I just kind of lay there. I don't read very much. I don't read very well. And so I choose not to take books with me. I have done audiobooks in the past, and I've done pretty well with that. My problem is my mind starts to wander while I'm listening to the books. Then I've got to rewind it. But audiobooks are good for me when it's definitely a book that I'm interested in, and so this fall I'll probably be listening to the Jim Shockey Call Me Hunter book, which you can pre-order that right now, but that'll probably be what I'm listening to. I don't really plan on doing any sort of big game hunts. This year is probably going to be just birds for me, and that starts in like 2 weeks, so I won't have a ton of downtime when I'm doing that, because when I'm bird hunting, I will be coming home every night, so I don't have to really worry about that moment in between dinner and bed. Now, I know it kind of sounds like I'm talking about several hours that I have to deal with, and it's not. When you're big game hunting, or even when you're waterfowl hunting, and you want to be there before the sun's up, and the sun still does come up fairly early. You want to be getting plenty of rest because, well, I do anyway, because I tend to wear myself out. So, trying to get that rest. So I do go to bed early because I wake up early. So there's only about 2 hours that I have time to kill. Now, there have been some times where it didn't matter what I had planned to kind of fill that void of time. I've been so exhausted that I didn't even want to cook dinner. I just wanted to hit the hay, just go to bed. Done with it. And I've definitely felt that on the days that have been super, super challenging. Where you've been in that moment where you feel like you're in a phenomenal spot, everything's looking great, and then nothing happens all day long and you just get frustrated. Or even worse, you have an opportunity and you miss it, or you blew it in some way. Those are definitely the moments where you get super frustrated, and then when you do get home, you're exhausted and it's time to go to bed. I've been there for sure. So, but yeah, this year, like I said, probably not going to be doing a whole lot of big game hunting. My wife definitely wants to go hunt some deer, but her brother has some time off during deer season, actually a fair chunk of time off. And so I was hoping that the two of them could go on a deer hunt together. They haven't actually been hunting together in years, and so I thought that'd be good for the two of them to go out and go hunting. If my wife decides that she's not going to do that, maybe me and her brother will go out and we'll go do some duck hunting. But yeah, hopefully things turn out this year. With the baby, definitely have some kinks in the plan, because when everything was all worked out, before we had any sort of complications, it worked out really well that my wife's maternity leave was still going on over the opening of duck season, the opening of deer season. And so everything was looking great to be able to get out and go early season. But then we ran into some complications before delivery, and so the delivery got moved up, which then moved the maternity leave up, and then it was just doing the math and finding out that she's not going to be on maternity leave during the opening of duck or deer. She will be on maternity leave for the beginning of dove season, and so I'm hoping I can find a place to go for that. That opens in 2 weeks, and so I'm getting pretty excited about that. Hopefully I can find a place to go. But yeah, it's gonna be an adventure this year. I actually had a very intensive elk hunt planned this year, and then when we found out we were having a baby, that got put on hold, which kind of sucks, but it's okay. It wasn't like it was a draw hunt, it was an over-the-counter hunt, so I wasn't really out anything other than the time that I spent planning, but that doesn't matter because if I go next year or even the year after or the year after that, the plans that I had set in place, as long as there's like no forest fires or tornadoes or anything up there, the plans that I've already placed should still be valid. So hopefully that comes here next year, but I guess we'll see. I'm actually hoping that for that hunt, this podcast grows quite a bit so that I can get more people to enjoy the hunt with me. Now, I'm not saying that I want to take 50 people on the mountain with me, because that's definitely not the case. But what I am saying is I would like you guys to be along for the journey or after the journey so you can hear exactly what happened. And, you guys can check out the pictures and the videos that we post from that. So, you may have noticed that I've kind of been off the grid, as you might say, for the last little bit. That's because of my daughter being born. And so things are looking up now. So now that she's home and healthy, everything should be falling back into place. Now, opening day for duck season is a Saturday. My wife typically does not work Saturdays, so I should be able to make it out for opening day of duck season, and then kind of go from there. Now, it's gonna be kind of every chance I have. I'm gonna have to probably beg, plea, and barter with my wife to be able to go, but she's pretty understanding, so I should be able to make it out quite a bit this year. But I guess we will see. I'm just about done with the blind for the boat, and so that should be coming up nicely here pretty quick. Basically, I'm to the point where all my material is cut and ready to go. All I have to do is put it together. And I do have to buy a couple more nets. That's what I was going to use to kind of conceal ourselves in the boat with some nets. Now, I saw a pretty cool little deal where it was an inflatable kayak, but it worked like a dry bag. And I was toying with that idea, but that was a $500 little kayak for a one-man kayak. So I don't know if I'll be using that guy. Probably still be using a little boat that my dad used to use when I was a kid. But before I can take it out, there is something that I'm going to need your guys' help with, for all my one listeners. The boat used to be named Crash. That's what my dad came up with when he named the boat. And so now that I have the boat, I would like to rename it, unless that's bad luck. I don't know if it's bad luck to rename a boat. If it's bad luck, let me know. If it's not bad luck to rename a boat, I would like some suggestions on the names. Now, this boat is basically strictly for duck hunting. So, if you guys have any names for the boats or for the boat, let me know. I'd love to hear your suggestions on that. You guys can shoot me an email at clearancecamo@gmail.com. You guys can comment on the video. There should be a question on there when you're looking at the video. And so you could be able to answer it there. So just let me know if you guys have any suggestions for the boat name. You guys can probably even send me a message on Instagram. I don't know. I don't really get messages on Instagram, so I don't know if those are blocked or what. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let me know if you guys have anything that you do for your relaxing time while you're hunting, and I'd be happy to hear it. So anyway, as always, guys, aim slow and shoot fast.